They say we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the depths of our oceans. And yet, the ocean makes up over 70% of Earth's surface, holding more than 96% of all the water on the planet. We call this planet Earth, but in reality, it's a water world, a blue planet veiled in mystery. Despite centuries of navigation, research, and technological advancement, humanity has only explored less than 5% of the ocean floor. That's roughly the same level of understanding we have about the vastness of outer space. And just like space, the ocean hides things that defy explanation. Throughout history, strange encounters, sunken ruins, and unclassified sea creatures have hinted at something far more complex and unknown beneath the waves. What lies in the uncharted trenches? Could there be ancient civilizations buried under the silt of time? Are there species that have never surfaced, creatures whose existence would challenge everything we believe about biology, evolution, and human history? Today, we dive deep, far beyond the sunlit shallows, into a world most people will never see. From mysterious underwater cities to strange beings with glowing eyes, and massive sea creatures lurking in complete darkness, this is not just a journey into the ocean. It's a journey into the unknown. So, buckle up. What you're about to hear may sound like science fiction, but it's rooted in real discoveries, eyewitness accounts, and unanswered questions from the darkest corners of the sea. This is Parallel Mysteries, and this is what lies beneath. Beneath the waves, beyond the reach of sunlight, lie the ruins of worlds long forgotten. In the waters off the coast of Hainan, China, a group of local fishermen once spoke of a strange shimmer beneath the sea. It was rumored that deep down in the Queen Chao Bay, there existed a village, one made not of coral or rock, but of crystal. Many dismissed it as myth. But one man, an experienced free diver, decided to see for himself. What he discovered defied belief. There, hidden beneath layers of sediment and swaying seaweed, was a fully preserved village. Ancient stone lions guarded temple gates. Dilapidated homes still bore the scars of daily life, grinding stones for tofu. Altars to river gods, worn paths between modest dwellings. Everything pointed to a thriving coastal community, lost not to time, but to the sea. Experts later dated the site to the late Ming Dynasty. Over 400 years ago, historical records confirmed that a powerful earthquake had struck the region, triggering massive coastal subsidence. In a matter of minutes, dozens of villages were swallowed whole, their stories drowned in silence. But the most astonishing discoveries didn't stop there. Farther out, in the waters between Taiwan and Japan, lies one of the ocean's greatest enigmas, an underwater cityscape of massive stone terraces, platforms, and pyramidal structures, discovered in the 1980s near Yonaguni Island. This site captivated Japanese marine geologist Masaki Kimura, who spent nearly a decade studying it. According to Kimura, this sprawling formation, with its sharp angles, symmetrical carvings, and connecting passageways, was no natural occurrence. He believed it to be the remnants of an ancient civilization, one that might predate every known culture on record. Kimura proposed that this could be the legendary Niue, a lost continent once believed to stretch across the western Pacific, connecting modern-day Japan, Taiwan, and parts of Southeast Asia. According to lore, this land was home to an advanced people, wiped out in a single cataclysmic event. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and tectonic shifts may have shattered this forgotten empire and pulled it into the abyss. Among the formations, Kimura identified a stepped pyramid, giant monolithic gates, ceremonial platforms, and even a colossal turtle-shaped stone. But what intrigued him the most was a massive boulder with facial features carved into it, a weathered face, gazing eternally into the blue void. Could this be a forgotten god? A king? A warning? Skeptics argue that these structures may be natural, the result of rare geological formations shaped by millennia of underwater erosion. But the sharp 90-degree angles, deliberate patterns, and human-like carvings raise questions that science has yet to answer. And then there's Atlantis, the mythical island empire first described by Plato. While traditionally believed to lie in the Atlantic Ocean, some researchers suggest its memory could be a global one, a metaphor for all lost civilizations. Whether in the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, or the Pacific, the world's oceans are littered with clues, sunken roads off the coast of India, underwater temples near Cuba, entire cities off the coast of Greece and Egypt. What unites them all is this chilling reality: civilizations rise, and civilizations fall, and sometimes, they vanish without a trace. Buried not in desert sands, but in cold, dark waters. The ocean is not just a place of nature's mysteries, it may very well be a graveyard of human history. Every ripple may hide a ruin, every trench may hold a secret, and every diver, knowingly or not, swims over the bones of a forgotten world. In the shadowy depths of the ocean, silence is not peace, it is tension. It is the breathless pause before something unknown makes itself known. During the Cold War, silence was often broken by the hum of nuclear submarines, gliding like shadows beneath the surface, carrying secrets more dangerous than torpedoes. In 1961, a Soviet nuclear submarine, part of the elite 627 attack fleet, was conducting a classified mission deep under the Barents Sea. Its technology was years ahead of its time, cloaked from the eyes of even its Western adversaries. But what they encountered that day wasn't from NATO. It wasn't human. According to the declassified mission logs and eyewitness testimony from the crew, the submarine's sonar picked up 6 massive unidentified underwater objects, moving in perfect triangular formation. They approached rapidly, far exceeding the known speed limits of any underwater craft. The commander, fearing collision, ordered an immediate deceleration. Strangely, the objects mirrored their maneuver, slowing down in sync. Moments later, the submarine surfaced, and so did the 6 unknown entities. Rising from the abyss, they broke through the waves, hovered momentarily, and then vanished into the deep, as if silently warning, "We see you too." Soviet naval researchers dubbed them quasi-submersibles, capable of operating seamlessly both underwater and in the air, at a time when no known vehicle could perform such dual-environment maneuvers. These entities defied logic, science, and military intelligence. But this wasn't an isolated event. In the early 1990s, a Soviet exploration team searching for a lost nuclear sub off the coast of Cuba witnessed something even stranger. A humanoid figure, pale, scaled, and child-sized, appeared before their submersible cameras. It had gills. It had webbed fingers. It had eyes that shimmered unnaturally in the dark. And just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished. The crew scrambled to deploy a containment pod, and, incredibly, they captured it. What happened next would be dismissed as fiction, if not for the reports leaked years later. Inside the observation tank, the aquatic being, nicknamed the White Child, allegedly spoke. It communicated through a series of high-pitched vocalizations eerily similar to dolphin clicks, which, when interpreted through modified acoustic software, formed sentences. One message stood out: "I come from Atlantis, let me return to the sea." The creature warned that keeping it captive would lead to great misfortune. But the Soviet handlers refused. The being was never released. And not long after, the Soviet Union collapsed. Coincidence? Or consequence? For decades, whispers of underwater anomalies have haunted military archives. From USOs, unidentified submerged objects, to sonar-detected structures on the ocean floor. Governments across the globe have been watching, studying, but never explaining, because perhaps they don't have answers. Or worse, perhaps they do. And as we've seen time and again, what lies beneath the waves may not only be older than humanity, it might also be watching us from the dark. As we descend into the deep, each meter we fall is a step away from the world we know, and a step closer to something ancient, cold, and utterly alien. At just 20 to 30 meters below the surface, sunlight still reaches us. Coral reefs bloom in radiant colors. Tropical fish dart through vibrant anemones. This is the shallow zone, the illusion of safety. But even here, pressure begins to build. At 40 meters, recreational diving reaches its limit. Bones begin to ache. Vision blurs. Oxygen no longer feels enough. Go deeper, and everything changes. At 100 meters, the colors fade. Blue turns to black. This is the realm of the giant Pacific octopus, a creature that can grow over 6 meters long and change color like a chameleon. With eyes that see in darkness and intelligence that rivals some mammals. It's no wonder ancient sailors mistook it for a sea monster. At 200 meters, We cross a threshold. Sunlight disappears completely. We enter the midnight zone, where darkness is eternal and light comes only from the bodies of the living. Here swim the lanternfish, vampire squid, and barrel-eye fish, the one with a transparent head and eyes that look straight up, forever watching for predators. Further down, at 500 meters, even submarines begin to hesitate. The pressure here is nearly 50 times that of the surface. Yet life endures. The emperor penguin can dive this deep, hunting in icy blackness for over 10 minutes at a time. How a bird survives what crushes machines remains a mystery of biology. At 1.000 meters, we enter the bathypelagic zone, the true deep sea. No light, no warmth, temperatures drop to near freezing. Here dwells the terrifying goblin shark, with a jaw that snaps forward like a spring-loaded trap. It's grotesque. Otherworldly face looks like something out of science fiction, but it is very real. At 3.000 meters, even monsters grow slow. The pressure here exceeds 300 atmospheres. Yet sperm whales dive to this depth in search of their favorite prey, the giant squid. Their battles are legendary, violent, and invisible, except for the scars left on the whale's skin and the beaks of squid found in their bellies. Keep falling. At 6.000 meters, we reach the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. No light has ever touched this place. It is a world of mud, crushing silence, and lifeforms that glow, pulse, or drift like ghosts. The snailfish lives here, its soft translucent body adapted to survive the crushing pressure where no bones should. But we are still not at the bottom. At 10.000 meters, we enter the Mariana Trench, the deepest known part of the ocean. Only 4 humans in history have reached it. Even here, life survives, single-celled organisms the size of a human hand, and strange shrimp-like creatures that glow red in a place with no light. What's most disturbing isn't just that life exists here, it's that we've barely scratched the surface. For every creature we've seen, there are hundreds we haven't. Every layer of ocean depth is a curtain, and behind each one is something waiting. The ocean is not empty. It is full of life, of mystery, of things older than human memory. And if we have only explored less than 5% of it, then what exactly is hiding in the 95% we've never seen? There is a place so deep, so dark, and so distant from everything we know. It is often described not as part of Earth, but as an alien world below our feet. It is the Mariana Trench, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans. Located in the western Pacific Ocean, east of the Philippines, this narrow crescent-shaped trench plunges down over 11.000 meters, deeper than Mount Everest is tall. If you were to drop Everest into the trench, its peak would still be submerged beneath over a mile of water. At such depths, pressure exceeds 1.000 times that at the surface. Temperatures hover just above freezing. There is no light, no heat, no forgiveness, and yet, life endures. In 1960, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh and Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard made history aboard the Trieste, a specially designed deep-sea vessel. After a descent of nearly 5 hours, they reached the trench's lowest known point, the Challenger Deep. When they arrived, something unexpected happened. Outside their tiny porthole, they saw something stir. It was a flatfish-like creature, gliding across the ocean floor, a biological impossibility at the time. Experts insisted no vertebrate could survive such pressure. And yet, there it was, calmly swimming, as if the crushing weight of Earth's oceans meant nothing. But this wasn't the last encounter. In 2012, filmmaker and explorer James Cameron descended solo into the Mariana Trench in his vessel Deep Sea Challenger. He stayed over 2 hours at the bottom, a place untouched by sunlight for millions of years. In his report, he described a barren, lunar-like landscape, lifeless, cold, and hauntingly still. Yet, even in this void, he captured footage of small shrimp-like creatures drifting past, glowing, alien, and unafraid. Then in 2019, American investor and deep-sea explorer Victor Vescovo pushed the limits even further. During his mission, he descended to 10.928 meters, setting a new record. But what he found was both fascinating and disturbing. In the sediment of the trench's floor, he discovered plastic, a man-made fragment of garbage. Even here, In the most remote place on Earth, the fingerprints of humanity had arrived. So what else might be down there? In 2017, Chinese researchers recorded footage at 8.000 meters, capturing a ghostly white fish, completely unknown to science. Later that same year, Japanese scientists confirmed sightings of similar fish at the same depth. These creatures had translucent bodies, gelatinous heads, and behaviors unrecorded anywhere else in the ocean. They were dubbed snailfish, but their resilience bordered on the supernatural. Living in pitch black, in conditions that would implode a submarine, they moved gracefully, feeding, mating, existing, in what should be a dead zone. And then, there are the giant single-celled organisms, discovered in the trench, known as xenophyophores. They can grow to over 20 centimeters in size. One cell, one nucleus, but the size of a human hand. They defy biological logic, existing in a state of suspended evolution, like relics from a forgotten age of Earth. But perhaps the most haunting truth about the Mariana Trench is this. We've only been there a handful of times. Fewer people have reached its bottom than have walked on the moon. Most of what lies in those depths remains unseen, unmeasured, unimagined. If ancient civilizations once fell into the ocean, this is where their bones may rest. If creatures evolved without light, without time, without contact, this is where they would thrive. Some researchers believe that exploring the trench could hold the key to understanding extraterrestrial life. After all, if organisms can survive such pressure, cold, and darkness here, why not under the ice crust of Europa or deep in the clouds of Venus? And yet, for all its potential, the trench remains largely untouched. Why? Because going there is dangerous, costly, and, some say, not meant for us. It's easy to gaze up at the stars and wonder what's out there. But perhaps the real unknown isn't above us, it's below. Hidden in salt, silence, and pressure. Waiting. The ocean is not just a vast body of water, it is a vault of forgotten time. A graveyard of civilizations, and perhaps even a mirror reflecting what we fear the most, the unknown. We have sent satellites into deep space. We've mapped the surfaces of Mars, Venus, even the moon in incredible detail. And yet, the Earth, our own planet, remains largely uncharted beneath its surface. More than 95% of the ocean floor is still unexplored. What lies in that darkness? Ancient cities swallowed by shifting plates? Species that defy evolution? Remnants of something not entirely of this world? In the Mariana Trench, the deepest place known to man, we've found life where none should exist, glowing, alien, almost watching. We've found our own trash there, too. A haunting reminder that even our greatest unknowns are not untouched by us. Perhaps we were never meant to reach that far. Or perhaps, we haven't reached far enough. For every mystery uncovered, 1,000 more rise in its place. The deeper we dive, the more fragile our understanding becomes. And yet, we continue, driven by something primal. Something restless. Curiosity. This is the essence of parallel mysteries, where ancient truths, modern science, and the impossible all blur together beneath the waves, waiting to be revealed. Because maybe, the final frontier isn't out there in the stars. Maybe it's right beneath our feet. And it's only a matter of time before something down there reaches back.